Previously on PolyArmoury.
I love that we're nearly 20 minutes into this podcast, and so far we've bought some spears and shagged.
Yeah, I mean, if that's not a better summary of the podcast than anything else, I don't know what is.
As you are leaving the shop, you hear a noise from down one of the alleyways and see a bright blue and white glow. What appears to be a large figure, maybe sort of 5.5, 6 foot tall, that is glowing blue and white. And as you watch, they seem to be getting smaller and smaller, and the light is dimming. And after a moment or so, you see that they are a kobold. They pick up something on the floor near them and walk out of the alleyway. And they walk past you, heading off down the road.
Unseen servant, if you can still hear me, go nick one of the things they're holding in their hands.
It plucks one of these things from the kobold. What the fuck's going on? Starts charging after it. It quickly catches up and reaches up and attempts to grab the object.
You have anchored the unseen hand!
Can I try re-rolling my dice now? I've blown on them now that they're not cursed.
No.
This has been an interesting case study to see how much importance the kobolds place in these devices. No!
Brilmara, the murder hobo.
I guess there are ears everywhere.
Somebody in the corner who was sitting behind a newspaper sort of rustles the newspaper and holds it up slightly higher. You notice that there are 2 eye holes in this newspaper.
Just get that big old greasy bit of meat in my face.
Across the road, you see a small figure in very large orange robes and a very large hat. You wonder how they don't fall over, like, all the time. And they appear to be putting up some kind of signs on wooden posts and boards around and on other shop fronts as they pass. He hands you a poster, and on this is some pictures of people in brightly coloured, almost neon armour, firing bolts of light at each other through what look like quite oversized wands. It seems to be for some kind of attraction called SpellQuest. They have a real live dragon boss. As you are opening the shop, you see, almost as if coming out of static, a large white-blue glowing spider. It's about 5 foot tall. Its body is roughly the size of Thrall if he was rolled up in the fetal position. It takes a few steps and then fizzes away as if it was static on a television. Across the road you see a shifty looking kobold with their hood up, bopping along. They stop and talk to another kobold walking in the opposite direction. They have a brief exchange. It appears that something changes hand between them. Then they part their ways and go in opposite directions. Vendi heads over to the large black disc that hangs on the wall, and she gestures with her hands over it. It's quite indistinct at first, and then it appears to come in and be some kind of bugbear. Still no words on the hammer, I'm afraid. Unfortunately, the noobs didn't manage to make it. I think the nose was a bit dodgy. I did check out the remains of the warehouse, but someone's gutted it, and the bugbear grunts. Well, if you hear anything, Vendi, darling, do let us know. Obviously, head office is quite interested in getting hold of it. And the image dissipates into a mist and is gone.
Vendirak, are you aware of, like, glowing blue spiders that just kind of appear out of nowhere and then disappear after a few steps?
They seem to sort of just phase in and out.
Exactly that.
Yeah, I saw one. I have heard about more weird stuff going on. A lot of weird blue-white lights keep appearing.
There may be some kobolds in town that have stones that do weird blue-white lights.
We saw one of the kobolds outside last night. They were glowing blue and white down the alleyway.
They all had these, like, devices. They did the whole bluey-white glow thing.
Little black things they're all holding and staring at you.
Something like that, yeah.
Scrytomes. Yeah, they've all got them.
We were very curious about what Impstagram's all about.
Well, I put pictures up, and they all end up on the Scrying network, and then people, like, look at my pictures and tell me how pretty I am. And sometimes they give me money. It's really good. Sometimes you get trolls. There's a lot of them.
There are quite a lot of trolls down here in the Underdark.
I know. And so many of them seem to have scry-tomes. I don't get it. There used to be scry pads or just like unbranded scrying mirrors. They were pretty popular if you wanted to sort of communicate and stuff. The Brayburn people managed to get something working and now they're everywhere.
Do you know where I could get one? Because, like, I kind of want to try and, like, put up pictures of myself doing cool fidget spinner dab tricks.
That would be amazing.
And I want to put up pictures of other things.
There's a shop in town, in Moortown.
Oh.
The Cart-Tome Warhouse.
To the Cart-Tome Warhouse.
Fighting death and human horse, Thorson tried to kill them all. They escaped the vile moor. Now PolyArmoury store. PolyArmoury.
That's fucking amazing.
You head through town, and not far down from the PolyArmoury, on the same side of the road as Ganley's and Daru's, is a fairly modern-looking shop, a big glass window.
But before we go in, I apologise to disrupt everything. Noticing how close we are to the PolyArmoury, can we pop into the PolyArmoury and be like, hey, we sold a petite chest of trash boy, here's the 1,000 gold?
Yeah, you can pop in and drop
Just so we're not carrying that around longer than we need to.
It's a good point, actually, yeah.
So how was things with the traps? Did you find out anything you needed?
The trap seems to be working all good. Trash Boy is very Trash Boy with an eye. He's very happy with the quality of the traps.
Excellent,
and
excellent. Ooh.
We managed to sell them another petite chest.
Excellent work, excellent work. I trust you got all the payments up
Of
front.
course, here's the 1,000 gold.
Excellent. Nice work, nice work. And Vendy tosses you 1 gold as a sort of bonus for the extra sale that you made. Right, so you ready to take over for the rest of the afternoon then?
Do you mind if we have like 5 more minutes to like go to the Cart-Tome Warehouse on just before we get back?
Yeah, we'll take it out of your lunch breaks.
Thank you. And we rush towards the Cart-Tome Warehouse.
Yep.
You head towards the Cart-Tome Warehouse. Just a door down, Valarie sees a familiar-looking gnoll that is lying in a doorway, just sort of giggling and sort of vaguely waving their hand in front of their face and smiling and looking quite vague.
Are they
There's a little bit of
drooling?
drool coming out the side of their mouth. Yes,
They
funny.
pissed themselves.
They have not pissed themselves, no.
But
They have not
yet.
done fantasy ketamine.
I was going to say.
You see the Cart-Tome Warehouse is a large glass-fronted shop. It looks fairly new. In the standing at the front of the shop is a large wooden figure. It looks like someone's painted a weird-looking pseudo-celebrity on the front of this board, like a cardboard standee in the real world, but fantasy and wooden. And they're holding a scrytome, which is. It's clearly not a real one. It's painted to look. It's a stone that is painted to look like one. Because if anyone smashes the shop window, they obviously don't want the real merchandise stolen. Are you gonna head in?
Yes, indeedy.
Okay, you head into the shop, and they're in a sort of smart casual shirt, a sort of fantasy polo shirt, if you will. It is green, signifying the colour of the Brayburn Corporation, and badge that declares them to be a Brayburn Smartie.
Oh, are they over at the Smartie Bar?
At the Smartie Bar,
Any
indeed.
chance?
The Smartie Bar. Oh, I love it. Can we see the name tag from here, or
Yep, that person is called Gala.
Gala?
Yes, and she has blue hair that is done up into little, on top of the head ponytails.
Oh, okay.
Hello, welcome to the Cart-Tome Warehouse. How can I help you today?
Hello, Gala. So we've been hearing a lot about these scrytomes.
Oh, you're in the market for a scrytome?
Curious about prices initially, just to see where we're at in regards to things. But potentially interested, yeah.
Were you looking to buy one outright or to get a monthly repayment plan?
Oh, Brilmara, are you interested in looking at the monthly repayment
I'd,
plans?
I'd like to hear all the options we've got on hand,
give us all
ideally.
the options.
Well, you could buy one outright for 600 gold. And you can also add insurance to that for an extra 50 gold, which means that if it is lost or stolen and cannot be found by any of the traditional spells, we will arrange for it to be replaced. That is only optional once. If you keep losing them, obviously, we will not keep replacing them. To get a monthly version, you can get one for as little as 25 gold. That does not include insurance. You can add insurance for an extra 15 gold a month.
Okay.
How much gold we got?
At the moment, not enough. But it's not entirely out of our ballpark.
Okay, we will come back.
It has been a pleasure seeing you today. Please come back some other time.
Thank you
Very
for
much,
being
we
such a
definitely
smartie.
Only smarties have the answer.
Should we go back to work?
I suppose we should, yes.
As you are walking back to work, someone not looking where they're going and running in the opposite direction accidentally bumps into you quite hard. Makes a very nervous laugh. Oh goodness, what a pickle. Hello, so awfully sorry about that. You haven't seen a big green thing, have you?
A big green thing?
Yeah, a bit on the smashy side.
Be a dragon by any chance?
Dragons? Nah, not around here. No, sort of, big, quite smashy, aggressive.
I'm gonna hazard a guess here.
It
Big
looks sort of
axe?
stitched together.
Big axe?
No, not seen any axes.
Okay.
In the distance, you hear a familiar sort of roar and the sound of something quite royally being smashed. Something probably quite large, possibly a building.
Is this the green glowy thing from the other episode?
You mean the green thing from the last episode?
Yes, from the last episode, the big green thing that smashed a bunch of stuff.
It sounds very familiar.
Yeah, yeah.
It sounds very, very similar indeed. Oh goodness. Well, I think that's it. Anyway, not to worry. I think I found it.
What are you
Dragon?
going to do to
Did you
it?
say dragon?
Do you know what this is? What are you planning to do about this thing? Are you running? Are you doing something with it?
This thing? Well, it might have escaped a bit.
Were you the one meant to not let this thing escape?
Oh, it's going to be smashing for a while anyway. So you've heard about all the things in the south, all the things, the evil, the human doing all the killings, destroying towns.
Can't say I'm aware of this.
See, you say that, Brilmara, but something did destroy our town, and we never found out what it was. But our boss said something about something happening down south. I think this might be related.
There's a big thing smashing up stuff in the distance that we've been told is green, and it might be the thing that wrecked shit when we tried to go get the hammer the other day. Okay, what's the thing in the south? What's happening in the south?
Well, you hear about all the towns. They're all being destroyed by humans. They're crazy powerful and they keep destroying things. So I'm trying to work on something that might. Well, we don't have an army because underdark. We don't really work together very much. So trying to work on something that might be able to destroy them, or at least fight against them. Like an army, but just a couple of them. Only thing that can really do them any damage is dragon's fire. So no dragons around here.
Well, funny you mention that. Have you heard of SpellQuest?
No, I tend to just hang around and make stuff.
I pull out the
Play with
flyer
my
and show them the
friends.
flyer. It's this thing. It's like a weird friend experience pseudo dungeon. Apparently, they have a real dragon.
I've got a dragon.
Apparently.
If we had something that could eat a dragon, then that'd probably help us deal with our little problem.
I think we should. I think we should go have a fun family day at SpellQuest.
I
guys.
think we need to warn the boss first and then go have a fun family day at the spell quest.
Yes.
Yeah, okay. I'll see what I can do about this. I'll get some of the boys on it.
Who are you, by the way? Sorry.
Me. I'm Gorthane, consensual necromancer.
Okay. I'm slightly disconcerted that a fellow orc is just as scared about this thing. is quite visibly terrified. Is there anything we can do to help outside of going and seeing about that dragon?
I mean, I think probably dragon's the best thing to do right now. Yeah.
Okay then.
Yeah, like I say, I'll try and, summon some of the boys, see if we can keep it restrained for a while, stop it doing too much damage.
I'm gonna just go straight to the PolyArmoury and be like, hey, boss!
You wave goodbye to Gorthane and head towards the PolyArmoury. The sound of distant crashing seems to be getting further away, so whatever it is, if it is that thing, it is heading away from you and out of town. You approach the armory, and you see your boss, Vendi, sort of with one hand on the door frame, another hand sort of fist on her waist, just looking down the street to see if she can work out what's happening down there. Her red, glowing, floating eyeball in the metal plate is just sort of glowing sort of slightly more intensely than usual. Quite a disturbance going on there. Any idea what's going on down there?
I've got a suspicion.
Yeah.
So you know how when we were trying to get the hammer, and then a big old green thing started rampaging through the warehouse?
Cool, that was it. Sounded like it's to smash up a warehouse fair easy.
Yeah, we reckon that's what's smashing up stuff around right now. We think it's hopefully going away from town for now, but we don't know how long that's going to last for.
We just ran into an orc. I cannot remember their name.
I know they were a consensual necromancer.
Gorthane.
Gorthane, that's the one.
Bloody necromancers keep me up all night. Always just... All I can hear up there in that bloody house is just crashing and banging all night long. Like, why can't they work during the day? We live in the underdark.
Yeah,
the night doesn't really matter, does it?
Yeah. The important thing is that apparently these big things are what is causing a massive stink up down south. Apparently, those big green things, apparently humans are behind them.
Humans made them?
Apparently. Quite concerning, really, isn't it?
Yeah, humans making things like that. That sounds most concerning.
Darn dirty humans.
We had a conversation with aforementioned consensual necromancer.
Gorthane the aforementioned.
We had a conversation with aforementioned Gorthane, and seems to be going on about how the only thing that might have a chance of stopping them would be the fire of the dragon's breath.
Dragonfire, round here.
Dragonfire. Yeah.
Moortown's not a very dragon-heavy place.
Now, see, you say that. Have you seen these flyers up about SpellQuest? And I hold up the flyer.
I've seen them. I don't really pay attention to comic books and stuff.
It's sort of like an adventure experience, not like a proper, like going out and doing your own adventure, like one that they set up that's supposed to be, like, fun for the family or something. But apparently they have a real dragon.
A real dragon?
That's one of the advertising points.
Apparently so.
We used to have a dragon round here, like, a while ago. But people stopped talking to him, and then they started hiding away.
That might explain this one.
Yeah, purple dragon. He was strange one, dressed funny.
Keep that in mind in case we run into one like that. If these people do have a dragon knocking about, and if it's not just some weird advertising scam or something. But it's the only lead we've got, I suppose, so we should probably go look into that.
I guess that's you for the rest of the day then, if you're going to head over there.
If you want one of us to wait back here, I guess you could go. But I just didn't think it'd be your thing.
Little, you stay here. At least you can do some cleaning.
He can do more cleaning. He can do more than cleaning if you need him to.
What are you implying to our boss?
I'm implying that he rips people's throats off.
Okay, that's okay.
If I was selling him as a weapon, that'd be quite handy. But we don't tend to sell stuff around here. We're not Barrys,
No, well, if someone tries to if someone tries to fight their way in, he's pretty good at ripping off faces.
Good to know. As am I. People don't tend to mess with me.
Should we go and try and find a dragon then?
Fine,
I guess.
Fine. I'll let you get off to this coming attraction.
I suppose we follow the directions to SpellQuest.
Okay. You head across town and across one of the larger open cave areas. Sometimes it's used as a sports field. Sometimes there's like wrestling competitions and things in this sort of area. It's not far from the local walk pit, where I believe the remains of the last PolyArmoury staff are still being eaten by wolves and repaired by a well-meaning wizard that is being handsomely paid by Vendirak just to really teach them a lesson.
Yep.
You go to this sort of large warehouse. It seems to be advertising itself as some kind of training area and gym, and you notice then, looking again at the poster, that it's this address as like the Cave B, and you head to the side of the large training area warehouse, and you find a small flight of stairs, and you head up them. It's very dark, almost dangerously dark to be climbing a flight of stairs. Luckily, some of you at least, are good at seeing in the dark. You head up the dark and into a sort of reception area with some kind of like a fantasy pool table. It's square and it has 8 holes on it, but basically rather than the more standard oblong pool table, and it has little benches at the sides for the shorter races so that they can play too.
Oh, that's cool.
And you hear sort of hammering from behind a door, but there doesn't appear to be anyone standing in this reception area.
My good old standby, thaumaturgy, triple voice, volume. Hey, anyone around?
The hammering stops. You hear a loud rumble from somewhere off to your left. The hammering stops. And a door opens not far from you, and peeking around the corner and flipping their goggles up, you see the gnome that you spotted earlier.
Hello.
Oh, hello. We're not open yet. Coming soon. Coming soon. Oh, I like how keen you are.
Yeah, well, you might not be open yet, but here's the thing. We kind of need your dragon.
She doesn't go out.
Well, she kind of is gonna have to, because there's a big old green thing tearing shit up, and if you don't want your life's work of building this place to go down, be totally destroyed before you've even built the place, probably want to get the dragon to go deal with it.
Allow me to explain the situation. There are large giant green monsters built by humans. The humans are sending them down into the Underdark to destroy and kill things. One of them is off in the distance, and it may or may not be here soon, but until then it's going to be killing other things and destroying other things. And eventually it will come over here and kill and destroy Mordtown and its inhabitants. And apparently, according to a few much more informed sources than us, one of the very few ways of defeating these large, giant, horrible green things is with the with dragonfire.
Oh, well, that sounds pretty terrible.
It does, doesn't it? Yeah. Sorry to lay that all on you at once.
I mean, I really don't think she'll come, but you're welcome to go and talk to her. I mean, Lactone's through there if you want to go and have a chat.
What's their name again? Sorry.
It's Lactone.
Lactone.
Yes.
Okay, we'll go talk to them and explain the situation to them. If obviously, we don't want to upset a dragon.
She's very sensitive.
Oh, that's okay. Yeah, we'll be very careful. We'll be as pleasant as possible, because it's going to get to a point of inevitability. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying?
No.
I got momentarily distracted because I've been trying to think about what kind of fantasy jokes you might be trying to create with the name Lactone, and I was like, are you trying to make some kind of fantasy vegan joke?
No.
I've been trying to put together like a potential fantasy vegan joke in my head for like 30 seconds.
No.
Let's go talk to Lactone.
Let's go talk to Lactone, whose name is not a joke.
I didn't say it wasn't a joke. I just said it wasn't that joke.
Okay. I've been going down the wrong joke tree, have I?
Ash points you to a staff-only door. If you want to talk to Lactone, she's through there, and down the corridor on the left. But she doesn't really go out.
That's okay.
So you head into the staff-only area, and there is distinctly less black in here. It's much more rough wooden walls, not very well put together. There's a few sort of staff notices about being careful in the arena, as some of the parts aren't ready yet, and some of the spring traps need some work. Sort of, there's a checklist of work that needs to be done around the building before things are ready to go. There's a calendar on the wall, and you head down this hallway, eventually coming to a door on the left with a big gold star painted on it that appears to have been recently repainted. And it says, in sort of roughly hand-painted letters, Lactone.
Okay.
Knock
on
on
the door,
the
I
door.
suppose.
Knock on the door, and you hear a sort of a rumble and a... Come in.
As we are entering, I want to cast Speak with Animals.
Okay.
I'm aware that this dragon speaks common, but I'm kind of hoping that Speaking Dragon might get her to be more... Appreciate that I've made the effort, and that it might help get her on side, maybe?
Brilmara, no worries.
Yeah?
I speak Draconic.
Well, then that's fine, because you do.
You
I
do?
have,
Bloody hell.
I have the Draconic bloodline as a
do?
sorcerer. Yeah.
Well, I'm going to cast Speak with Animals so that I can join you in speaking Draconic.
Okay, well, I guess you're both going to be speaking Draconic then. Hang on a
Suppose.
second.
Just in the hope that this gets us somewhat more, on good terms. We've made the effort to speak a native tongue.
I'm into this. Would you find talking to a dragon a distressing situation?
Well, that's down to the DM's discretion, is it not?
I don't know your character. I mean, are you familiar with dragons?
I'm not familiar enough with dragons to know natively how to speak Draconic, so...
But I have spoken Draconic to you in the bedroom, which has gotten you a little bit fired up.
I've never specifically dealt with a dragon before, but I did once upon a time, look into the eldritch depths of eternity, so...
So, just meeting a strange creature probably wouldn't be that bothering to you, maybe?
I don't know, how scary is this dragon?
I mean, at this point, we're talking about having not yet opened the door. You've been told to come in, but you haven't actually yet opened the door. I just want to know if this is something that I think you should be rolling for.
Yeah, I'm going to say I've not had previous experience with a dragon. It's up to you whether you think that is enough that this is a stressful experience for me.
Okay, I think this would be a stressful situation for you. So, Brilmara, if you will roll a wisdom saving throw.
Right, wisdom 19.
Very well done. You are perfectly at ease. Excellent. Breathe and relax. You enter the room, and there, sitting on the most meagre pile of treasure you've ever seen, in fact, it barely pokes out from underneath her bum, is a large purple dragon. She appears to be wearing a tiara, which is probably the most expensive thing in her quote-unquote hoard. She has a small jar next to her, and has her hand sort of on her chest. Hello?
Hi, how are you doing?
Hello.
How can I help you?
We are in need of a bit of dragon fire, and being a dragon, we were wondering if you can help us at all.
Do you need something lit?
Yes. What we need lit is, it's nothing too big of a deal. It's, some humans have been making some creatures that are big and green and are destroying a bunch of stuff, and we need to maybe get them with some dragon fire.
If you brought it here, I could deal with that for you.
There is one problem with bringing it here, and that is, all that building work going on outside?
Oh, Ash is so proud of what he's making.
Yeah, it might destroy everything he's making if we bring it here.
I wouldn't do that to Ash. He's been so good looking after me.
Well, there is a way you could avoid his things all being destroyed. You could come with us.
Oh, I don't go out anymore.
Anymore?
And she looks really sad.
Why don't you go out anymore?
They don't like me outside. They're not very nice to me.
They're not very nice to you.
No, They don't like people like me.
Is there anything we could do to help?
I don't. And as she stammers through her words, you notice the room starting to get hotter. Much, much hotter. Uncomfortably hot. And she picks up a fan, which is essentially just a large piece of metal that is sitting next to her on one side, and she starts furiously fanning herself with it. And she reaches into the jar to her side and takes out a small object, and she pops it in her mouth and swallows it down.
Why don't the people outside like you?
Well, people aren't very accepting around here. People are quite unkind, so I stay in now.
If it's not rude to ask, what was it you just swallowed a second ago? If that's not rude to ask.
Oh, I take these to feel better about me and be more me.
Can I do a medicine check to basically check if these are antidepressants?
So you're checking for antidepressants?
I'm checking, like, is this specifically some kind of medication that she's just taken?
Okay. I will give you a 5 for that.
10.
Yay. You are certain that what she's just taken is medicine.
Do I know anything about what kind of medicine?
For 10, you've not seen it before.
Okay.
She fans herself a little more, and the temperature in the room does start to get a little bit cooler after a few moments.
I walk up to her, and I sit down next to her. I don't believe I ever got your name, but my name is Valarie, and it's very nice to meet you.
Hello, Valarie. I am Lactone.
It's nice to
I've
meet
got
you.
a certificate.
Certificate?
Yes. For my name. It's over there.
Oh.
Does it by any chance have a surname on it?
I know what's going on here.
What? What's going on?
Sorry, that was an out of character realization.
Do you want to fill me in on this realization you've had?
Out of character.
If that's what it takes, what have you worked out?
Lactone is taking medication from a jar and has a certificate of her name on the wall. She is wearing a tiara and has a stutter.
And sometimes she gets really, really hot.
I feel like there's something staring right in my face that I've not picked up on.
Lactone is a trans dragon.
Oh! You're not alone. And I would be proud to have you by my side going to go kill some cool green things.
I don't really feel comfortable going outside.
Hey, that's okay. That's okay. We don't have to go outside.
I'm sorry I can't help.
That's okay. We mostly came here just to say that it's not an immediate risk what's happening outside. It's off in the distance. It's not something that's going to be happening right away. How would you feel if maybe over time we got to know each other a little bit better? And maybe if we get to know each other a little bit better, we can protect you. Like, obviously, you know, you're already being looked after rather well.
Ash is very kind.
I could tell that. Because you seem really cool. How do you feel about us popping by every now and then just to come and say hi? You know, get to know each other better.
It would be nice to have new friends.
Okay, cool. That sounds really nice. Tell us a bit about yourself. What sort of things are you interested in?
I don't really get to do anything much anymore. I stay here with Ash. He looks after me, and I'm going to be the main attraction for the game.
Yeah, I did hear about that. That's really, really cool.
I get to wear a mask, so it's okay.
What sort of things... You said not anymore. What sort of things did you really, really like to do?
All the usual dragon things, flying and collecting treasures, and eating humans. Yeah,
Okay.
destroying the odd village.
Of course, all the classic dragon things.
Collected a lot of gems.
You like gems?
Gems are delicious.
I should imagine. Here's a thought. Have you heard of a scry-tome before?
Oh, I have a scry pad. Scry tomes are are a bit small for my hands,
That's okay.
but I'm a big fan of Trash Boy.
Oh, Trash Boy. We're actually relatively good friends with Trash Boy.
You've met Trash Boy?
Yeah, we've met Trash Boy.
We saw Trash Boy, like, earlier today. We saw Trash Boy.
She, despite having quite a long neck and quite short arms, she tries to do a little dab.
Oh, you know what
That
you
was a
could
very
do?
cool dab.
You know what you could do that would make these dabs even cooler? And I spin the fidget spinners and I sort of just like hold them up to try and get them near the hands.
They're so pretty.
Do you reckon you can hold onto them and try and do a dab with them?
I think they're a bit small for my hands.
Okay, well, how's about this? I'll spin them and I'll just kind of hold them near your hands while you do the dab, and we can make it. We'll teamwork. We'll do a fidget spinner dab.
Oh, okay. And she tries to do a dab with you, despite being sort of way too big for any of this. By the time she's sort of put her hands in a dab position, she's about 15 feet above you.
That's fine. I'm sort of just like jumping, holding them in position, like, there we go, fidget spinner dab.
Aww. This is so sweet.
Now, we were given something by Trash Boy.
By Trash Boy?
By Trash Boy. But I don't think Trash Boy would mind if we gave that to a friend of ours as a gift.
What is it?
I take out the photograph and I hold it up to her.
It's you with Trash Boy, and
Yeah.
And who's that?
Oh, that's our other partner, Thrall.
Ah, he's cute.
He is. We should bring him with us next time to introduce the two of you.
Does he like dragons?
Well, he descended from them.
Well, kobolds are unkind sometimes.
Our one is very nice.
I can't take this though. This is signed to you.
Well, how's about, in that case, we'll go talk to Trash Boy and let them know that they have a really big fan.
Well, literally.
Yeah. And you know what? Seeing as we're friends with Trash Boy, I think the two of you get along really, really well.
Oh, I'd be... I would be really shy to meet Trash Boy.
Oh, it's okay. We don't need to do anything right away.
They're super important. I'm just...
Hey!
You're
Hey.
you're lovely, and we
You're-
reckon you might be the key to saving the world at some point.
That's important, isn't it? That's
very
important.
important.
I don't know. As she seems to be getting more nervous about the whole situation, you feel again the temperature in the room gets really hot, and she herself again looks quite uncomfortably hot. And she picks up her fan and just starts fanning it wildly.
I gently place a hand on her and say, "Hey, it's
Your
okay."
hand burns.
Oh,
You take 1d4.
fucking hell! Oh god. Okay. Regardless of how much damage I take from this, I'm gonna try my best to.
I know what might be able to help.
Okay, you take 1 damage.
I cast Armor of Agathyst, which covers me in a protective magical frost, like a spectral frost, and I give her a hug.
Aww.
Oh.
In the hopes that my cold spectral frost will help cool her down.
Aww. Goodness, I hadn't even thought of that. That's so sweet. So she's fanning herself, and you come over and give her the hug, and you hear just a hiss coming off from her. And 1d4,
Okay,
you take 2 damage.
that's fine.
There is a hiss between you, and that sort of like, you know, when you put a hot pan that's got a wet bottom on a hot electric
Yeah.
stove, and it does that. There's sort of that between the two of you, and you start sweating profusely. She's still quite warm, but she seems quite appreciative. Although she is desperately fanning herself, she reaches into the jar next to her and grabs another one of these items and pops it in her throat. And after a couple of minutes, she starts to cool down. Oh, Oh, thank you. I'm terribly sorry about that. I don't...
Hey, it's okay. Don't you worry.
It's all right. Hot flushes are never fun. I've been there. They're never fun.
You have?
Yeah. Yeah.
You have?
Mhm.
But you don't seem very old.
Well, I'm pretty young for a grey dwarf. I'm about 80, but you know, for us that's like I'm like getting into adulthood. I'm old enough I can make my own decisions.
So what is it that you need the fire for? To kill the thing?
That's the intention. Is
that's the impression that we got.
is to try and to kill it so that it can't destroy the town.
I could give you something that's hotter than dragon fire.
Oh, what have you got
yeah.
that's hotter than dragonfire?
And she picks up the jar next to her and offers you one of the... Just gonna say it straight. They're dragon hormones.
Dragon
Something that can heat a dragon. Hot flushes for a dragon.
Yeah, that's quite hot.
That's pretty hot. something that can warm a dragon from the inside. She offers you some dragon HRT.
Oh my goodness, are we going to kill the big bad guy with dragon HRT? Is that what we're going to do?
You can certainly
I
try.
hope it is. Oh, holy
so
shit.
yes, she offers you from the jar one of her pills.
If you're sure that's all right.
I'll need to get some more soon, but I don't want all of Ash's work to be destroyed.
Well,
It's
thank
very
you.
good to me.
If there's anything we can do to help, we will definitely do so. We're going to be back here at some point anyway, because we want to do that game, and then we can see you at the end anyway. But if there's anything we can do to help, just let us know, because you seem lovely.
Well, if you ever see Trash Boy again, I don't know, a picture would be nice.
We can definitely do that.
I've seen them on the Scrying Network, but it would be different.
Of course.
We'll see what we can get done. We can make something happen. Trash Boy and us, we're on good terms.
If you ever need us, do you have a scry pad, don't you?
I do, yes.
Well, there's a scry pad at the PolyArmoury. I'll talk with our boss and see if we can use that on a temporary basis. And if you ever want to, talk to us, just let us know and we can come over.
I'll look you up on the ether web.
Okay. We're actually looking into getting one of our own, so when that changes, we'll let you know. But until then, that's an option.
Thank you for coming today. It's been nice to see people.
It's been nice to meet you.
It's been a very long time.
Well, let's hope that changes, yeah?
And she does a sort of quiet smile, looks down, but obviously everything is down from her anyway. So
Downer.
downer.
No, not that kind.
Are you gonna stop off in the lobby, or are you heading straight back to town?
Oh, we can stop off on the lobby, I suppose. Let them know that we're popping off.
Okay. You walk back down the corridor and you open the door. You see Ash struggling up the stairs with some planks of wood.
Do you need any help with that?
You notice that he has a load of... He's just carrying nails in his teeth.
Okay. My face sinks into a look of very outward concern, and I just run over and pick the nails up out of his mouth.
Thank you. Yeah, if you don't mind, I'm just trying to get some more wood in, work on the maze. No peeking though.
Okay, yeah, sure. I help out with shifting some wood for a little bit.
Okay. Are you gonna help as well?
Sure, why not? I'll give a hand.
Helping hands. You're making friends left and right today.
Yeah.
This is good. So you help Ash in with a bunch of wood. There's not a huge amount, only what Ash himself could carry back from Bumbles. And he thanks you. Thanks so much.
It's all
What
right.
was his accent? I can't remember.
It was that.
Oh, thanks very much. How's the star doing?
She's doing okay. She's really cool.
She's lovely. I love her. She's very nice. People aren't so nice to her, but I look after her as I can. As much
That's
as
good.
one gnome can look after a dragon.
That's very noble of you.
She's a good friend.
I'm glad. We may end up popping back occasionally just to come and chat with her, if that's okay.
That would be good. She needs friends.
Yes. Yes, she does.
You head back to the PolyArmoury. You hear, still hear a rumbling. There is still a kobold lying in that shop doorway, not next to the Cart-Tome Warhouse, drooling and gurning and following the tracers as they move their hand in front of their face.
Mm-hmm.
And you see a couple of zombies staggering through town towards the sound of rumbling and the apparent noise of whatever the thing is on the edge of town.
I suppose that'll be the work of the consensual necromancer. I think report back to the PolyArmoury.
So you head back to the PolyArmoury, passing the zombies, which seems to be heading out towards the town. Again, Vendy is standing in the doorway, sitting in the window, just rearranging a few things. You see Thrall, obviously keeping up some good work and making sure at least one of you is actually doing work in the shop.
Yeah.
Vendy is sort of keeping an eye on things outside. There's been a fair amount of rumbling and noise, and I keep seeing zombies going past, which is weird.
I think that's the force that's keeping the thing out there at bay.
What thing out of where? What? Force?
Well, you keep seeing zombies going out, right?
Yeah.
That person we talked to, Gorthane, the consensual necromancer, is sending some zombies out in the direction of that thing to sort of hold it off for a while.
Oh, right. Okay.
Buying us some time.
Yeah, and with that bought time, we have managed to obtain this. And I hold up the large pill, and this is the solution to our problems.
It looks like a blue rock.
It looks like a blue rock.
It is something hotter than even dragon fire.
And she holds out her hand towards it and doesn't really feel any heat. It doesn't feel that hot.
It's not that hot now. If you get it in someone's mouth and get them to swallow it, it is it'll burn them right up.
And I already have a plan as to how we're going to do that.
Alright, so I guess this still remains that you two will not be working this afternoon.
We could finish up work here and then after we've clocked off, head over to that big thing.
It's entirely your decision. You have to decide these things.
I feel like the zombies are buying us time, and that's enough time to get in another good day's work.
You say finish up a good day's work. We've barely been at work today. It would be doing a token amount of work to be like, see, we didn't skip the whole day.
Yeah, you'd be doing like an hour's dusting or stock taking at this point.
I mean, it's better than nothing, right?
If you want to do it, you can do it. I think we should probably look. We've lost a day's work pretty much here.
Don't want to get up in your expense.
I want to go fight the big thing.
That's probably for the best, Don't want wherever that is destroying the rest of this town, because it sounds like it's having a field day out there.
Should we go do the thing then?
Let's go do the thing.
You follow the zombies towards the sound of crashing and banging, and you come to what turns out to be a small gathering of them, and there, sort of just marshalling the ranks, is Gorthane in her oversized robe. She's an orc, but she's very hunched, and she tends to wear quite baggy clothing. She's sort of brandishing her staff, which is glowing with an ethereal green light, and using that to direct where the zombies should go. They're basically throwing themselves at this thing and almost sort of trying to grip on and weigh it down. Zombies not being the most adept fighters.
Is it going to, say, eat the occasional one?
So you're going to get pretty close to it then. Okay, from where you are.
Yeah, from where we are, what can we
Okay.
see in that regard?
From where you are, you can see a large green creature. It looks like it has been stitched together from various pieces. It's not like anything you've seen. Roll Arcana.
11.
You think that this is some kind of necromantic construct. You have no prior experience thereof. But it seems like something that has been stitched together out of bits of probably orc bodies. And it is currently smashing around and hammering and bashing at the zombies as they approach. Some of which are going flying off against the sides of cave walls, or now being impaled on stalactites, and all sort of flying apart. Luckily there still seem to be a few coming down from Gorthane's house at the top of the hill. Just a few of her house staff left staggering in and through town as the last few.
Gee, okay, I run over to Gorthane. Gorthane,
I hope you have a plan here.
Well, I was just going to throw things at them until, I don't know, I just make these things.
Gorthane, I need your expert advice.
Okay.
Right, you see this blue thing? I hold up the dragon HRT pill.
Okay. Oh, what's that?
This, inside that thing over there, will kill it.
I did say hotter than a dragon's fire. Is that,
When consumed...
When it's consumed, or when it's inside a thing, it will emit a heat hotter than dragon's fire.
If you think you can get us out of this pickle, yeah.
Do you think there's any way that we can get this inside that thing?
Have you got the slingshot? Or unless you want to run up and try and shove it in its mouth, or throw it.
I do still have some armour on that gives me bonus HP. I could try that.
To get eaten by it.
Not to get eaten by it, but to run and shove the thing into its mouth.
How tall is the big green thing?
About 16 feet tall.
Okay, that's manageable. So, if I can get uncomfortably close to it, but not lethally close to it...
Are you suggesting about 14 feet away from it?
Yeah. Then
Bloody
I can
hell.
use Mage Hand to move the pill into the creature's mouth.
Good plan. I like that plan, because I've just seen the stats on this damn thing.
Would it not have been a good plan for me to run up to it?
I wouldn't recommend getting too close to this thing.
Yeah.
Well,
Goodness
okay.
good thing you've got Mage Hand.
Oh, I thought
Yes.
Vendi had high HP.
Oh God. Okay, let's try and deal with this without death.
Well, without our death. We want some
Yes.
death to occur.
Okay, I'm gonna make a stealth check now to try and get relatively close to this thing without it noticing me, if that's possible. About 14 feet away from it.
Okay.
Brilmara. Brilmara.
Yeah.
Get over here.
Why? I thought you had this.
I mean, I do, but I need your help.
What do you need from me?
Come over here and I'll explain.
Okay. I should probably do... See, I'm hoping that you actually need me over there for something, because now I'm trying to see how stealthily I can get over there.
Yeah, I do.
I have hit stealth 22!
You're
As-
fucking fine.
As you start to sneak across, you feel your the ring on your finger crack, and
The ring on my crack?
the ring on your finger cracks.
Okay.
You may recall that you were wearing the ring of stealth, which gave you +2. And as this is your second attempt
As a stealth
to use
check,
it,
yes.
it has failed. So you will have passed the stealth check. You are able to get as near as you would like to get with it. I will.
Okay. Well-
For a 22, I will let you sort of be standing behind it, stepping carefully every time it turns around.
Okay, well, for now, I'm just coming over to be like, what do you want?
Right, I need you to hurt it somehow so that it rolls out in pain.
Okay, I can do that, just be ready.
I'm gonna be ready.
Okay.
Because when it roars out in pain, its mouth will be wide open and I can fling this thing into it.
I'm gonna use that advanced stealth that I have to sneak up right behind this thing and jab it as hard as I can with my mace.
Okay, with that superior stealth, you run around behind and you jam your mace right up its sphincter.
Yeah, that is a good way to get a painful reaction out of a creature, I imagine.
It roars in pain.
As that happens, I cast Mage Hand and move the pill up towards the creature's mouth and drop it in.
Let's have a magic roll. Oh, good gravy. You miss its mouth by a country mile, which is unusual considering how wide it had just opened its mouth.
Oh, God.
It turns around. Oh, my goodness.
Is my mace still up its sphincter?
Oh, God, you're all gonna die.
Answer my
but
question.
it was going so
Is the
well.
mace still up its sphincter?
Jab, turn, jab, roar, miss. Yeah.
I'm gonna try and give one more chance to do this by pulling the mace back out of the sphincter.
Oh, no.
It winces and roars again.
Go,
And-
go!
Try again.
And no, it's the flesh golem's turn.
Oh.
Have you put us up against a creature that has a very, very easy way to kill us?
Oh, my God.
It spins around and just palm swipes Brilmara, who goes flying away and hits one of the zombies, which is quite squishy, and she falls and takes 16 damage.
Okay.
Fucking hell.
I'm alive. Actually, not that this is going to make much of a difference. However, because of my armor of Agathis, the creature does take 5 cold damage for hitting me with a melee attack.
5, you say?
5.
Right, okay. It barely notices.
Yeah, I guess that might be the case. That was very mean of you to not let us just drop the tablet in its mouth with Mage Hand, huh?
Yeah.
That would have been a nice way to be like, yeah, you thought about that problem and found a solution. Nope. You just want us to die.
I am the cruelest dungeon mistress, and one of you will
Right.
one day scream Theodolite.
Right, okay. Right.
You have another chance. If you want to grab from the floor.
Yep, I'm gonna give it a go. Another charisma check?
Yep. And with a 20, you... Oh, it wasn't a natural 20. Okay, I was going to say you did it with style, but no. You managed to hoik it up off the floor and just jam it into the creature's mouth. After a few seconds, you back away. Valarie, you back away as much as possible, and perhaps are you going to head over and see if Brilmara's all right?
Yes.
Meanwhile, Gorthane is still directing the last few remaining zombies towards the creature. Another zombie grabs its legs, and you notice that the green of its skin is changing and darkening, and it appears to have steam coming off of its body. After a couple more seconds, its skin starts to blacken. Between all of the stitching, you see it start to light up as if it is burning with an internal fire. And
Fucking hell.
after a few more seconds, it rips itself apart, bursts into flames, and some of the surrounding zombies are thrown back from the explosion, and before you know it, there are green/black charred pieces all over the place.
Brilmara coughs from the ground where she's sort of like slightly dying on the floor, just... HRT is powerful stuff.
It is that. 10 out of 10 can confirm. It's powerful stuff.
Gotta love some good titty skills.
Gotta love them titty skills. Those antihistamines, you know.
Antihistamines.
Antihistamines. Yep.
Feminims. Let's go.
I'm so happy about everything that's happening right now.
Sorry, I just love the word antihistamines.
It's such a good word.
I know. Gorthane, whose eyebrows are slightly smouldering. Bloody hell! What was that?
That was the most powerful tablet known to the world, and you should never, ever, ever fuck with anyone that just takes them for pleasure.
For pleasure.
I certainly have no problem with taking one of those. I feel very happy when I consume them. So, yeah, just
What?
You could...
Are you using this to, like, intimidate people?
yeah, I'm being like, yeah, I take HRT. What of it? I take the thing that made that monster explode. Take him on a daily basis.
Well, well, you could certainly make some changes with those. Yeah, well, I'll try not to let any more of them get out. But, still gotta fight the good fight. If you can get me any more of those, just in case any more of them escape, gotta fight the good fight.
We'll look into
unfortunately, there's quite a long waiting list to get any of them for you.
Hey!
Hey.
but in character. Okay, well, yeah, gotta get back to the old goring board. More flesh golems to make, more zombies to raise. Come on, boys. And she signals her zombie minions, and they sort of start staggering off behind her as she heads back towards the house at the top of the hill. Congratulations, you have slain the flesh golem.
We did it, all with the power of HRT.
Yes, HRT makes massive changes and saves the world.
Wouldn't the world be better if HRT was available to anyone that needed it?
Exactly.
We've
had a lot of fun here today.
I like the metaphor that's developed out of this plot arc.
Well, the metaphor that if someone comes to you and you have the ability to provide them with HRT, should they need it, and you say, no, I'm going to make you wait for HRT, then who knows what kind of terrible things could happen as a consequence of you, for no apparent reason, not believing that they require the HRT they came to you for.
Indeed.
It makes you think.
It did. You handled the whole situation very well. So, well done. You have slain the flesh golem. One less problem exists in Mordtown. Many other mysteries remain.
Huzzah.
Thank you very much for joining us. Laura, where can we find you these days? I hear you've moved.
You can find me now at kotaku.co.uk, or you can still find me on a bunch of other podcasts and things. Like I still do, I do Pixel Squirt, Podquisition, Dice Funk, the Crystal Clodcast. But the main place, kotaku.co.uk, that's where most of my stuff goes now.
Advertising Dice Funk, a far better D&D podcast than ours.
No, this is amazing.
This one is... Hey, I've never been on an episode of Dice Funk where the lesson learnt was give people HRT when they request it, otherwise bad things will happen, and you should really not, unnecessarily delay people's access to HRT. Never been on an episode of Dice
Series
Funk.
4, sort that out. Austin, sorry.
Yeah, sort that out, Austin. Season 4 of Dice Funk now confirmed to be entirely about the world-saving powers of HRT.
Yay! I very much look forward to that. And George, where can we find you?
Well, if you like video games and communism,
I do.
You can find me at jaffermeister.com, where I violently mash communism into video games to talk about how it makes sense. I also do pretty much the same sort of thing on my YouTube channel, youtube.com/jaffermeister, where you can find my latest episode of the series Your Favour's Communistic, where I try to convince my comrades in games media that their favourite video game characters are secretly communists, with special guest Alice Bell of Video Gamer. You can also find me on indiehaven.com, where I'm the editor-in-chief. We talk about indie games, we have a silly podcast, some thought-provoking features. You can also find me on Twitter, where I talk about all this stuff. And if you like the sound of trans-centric communist memes, you can go to the Facebook page Trans Ham Agenda Sickle, where I'm starting to make really ridiculous trans Labour Wave communism meme things that are doing really well on Tumblr, apparently.
It's beautiful.
I don't have any involvement in it, but in the Tumblr side of things, but apparently it's doing really well there.
It's beautiful. Congratulations on your new thing. I particularly like Comrade Chelsea.
Yes.
Who does not love Chelsea Manning? And I am Janeris Magnet. I can be found on YouTube as Maniac Janiac. I can be found on Twitter as at Maniac Janiac. I can be found on SoundCloud as Janeris Magnet. At some point, this entire show may end up on the evil iTunes.
The evil of iTunes.
Sorry, the lovely, wonderful Please Let Us on iTunes so that some people listen to us. Thank you to everyone who has been listening. It's very much appreciated. If you like to tweet at us, we are. You can use the hashtag @PolySMR, or you can tweet us at PolyArmourySMR. That's ARMOURY. Thank you very much for joining us. Join us again sometime. More adventures.
Fighting death and human horse, Thorson tried to kill them all. They escaped the vile moor. Now PolyArmoury store.
PolyArmoury!
That's fucking amazing.